Now, shoppers will have to pay 10 pence for plastic bags in all shops across England under new plans set out by the Environment Secretary Michael Gove. The existing 5p charge is to be doubled and will no longer be restricted to large retailers. Schools are also being encouraged to end the use of single-use plastics by 2022. Razi Ginzberg is the founder and director of the Ayn Rand Centre and joins us now from London. So, Mr. Ginzberg, what do you make of this move to put up the cost of plastic bags to 10p?
Yeah, well, these things are always done in small increments. You know, it's only 5p and then it's only 10p. But the overall picture isn't, I don't think, fully taken into account. I mean, we look at pictures of plastic in the ocean, and that's all we take into account. We're not doing a proper cost-benefit analysis, and we're not taking in, we're not factoring the great benefits to humans of plastic. And I think, this is one probably one battlefield in the overall war on fossil fuels, and we're not gonna win this war. We're all gonna lose. So
you think plastic bags are a good idea, do you?
I do, yeah, because they're beneficial to us. I mean, and I think some of the detrimental effects are exaggerated, but again, the benefits are not taken into consideration at all. So they are very convenient. They work better than the alternatives. They cost less. They actually waste less energy in their production than, for example, paper bags. But that's not factored in at all.
But plastic is turning up in, almost every corner of the planet. Something like 12.7 million tons of plastic is turning up, whether it be plastic bags or plastic bottles, and it's, throttling and endangering the lives of seabirds all over the world.
Yes. Well, so this is also, if you look, for example, at the so-called plastic islands in the ocean, some of them are exaggerated, and they are, ocean currents, concentrate plastics and trash in certain areas, but it's not as bad as it's being made out to be. And also, something like 95%, I think a study last year showed that 95% of the plastics in the ocean come from Asia and Africa. So we're not only exaggerating the problem, we're also taking too much of the blame for it. We're disproportionately taking blame and ending up paying for it, literally.
So you think that the scientists and the environmentalists and the campaigners who are campaigning against single-use plastic, you think they're wrong, do you?
Yeah, I definitely think the campaigners are wrong. Look, plastic has its downsides, but it also has its benefits, which are not considered. And if anybody has a superior alternative from the human standpoint, from the perspective of humans, I'd be happy, to use it rather than plastic. But that's not the case. And why are we going immediately towards banning and taxing things? We're not looking, for example, the focus should be, if anything, on better systems of disposing of plastic. But, we're too gung-ho when it comes to banning things.
But more and more seabirds, more and more turtles are mistaking plastic for food. It's sticking in their gullets, it's killing them. It's even entering all levels of the food chain. I mean, I've heard stories recently of plastic being found in seafood served on plates in restaurants. So, I mean, you can't deny that this is a pretty serious problem.
Well, I'm challenging how serious it is, and I'm also saying let's look at both sides of it. I mean, we like to be emotional. We look at a picture and we feel bad, and then we end up banning things because of it. I mean, and again, this is a part of a bigger campaign against fossil fuels, and I think one of the things or some of the things that make this the most wonderful time of the year is when you go outside and there are lights and colorful decorations and people are giving each other gifts. They're all luxuries, none of these are necessities, and they're luxuries we can afford because we have, cheap machinery that produces them and cheap ways of packaging and transporting them. And I urge anybody to go into your nearest town center, look around you, and imagine everything around you minus the fossil fuel element, or the things that would not be possible without fossil fuels. It's not just the luxuries that are going to be gone. It's also most of the necessities.
Yeah, but we will be living, hopefully, in a cleaner world, and we will be living in a world where, the pollution, if you go to Beijing, you go to India, and you see the pollution in the sky, that pollution will not, hopefully, be quite so bad and not be killing young children as it is in India and China right now.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll be living in a cleaner world. We'll be starving in a cleaner world. So, ultimately, I think we should look at it, again, from the overall human perspective of our lives are better because we have fossil fuel-powered machines and plastic and everything that goes along with it. And anybody who wants to live a fossil fuel-free life, I urge them to do it. Go into the forest and forage. But I don't want it to be forced on me, and I don't want anybody else to be forced.
Okay, Razi Ginzberg, thank very much indeed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's take a look at some of the day's other news.